Hello moms and dads, Mrs. Kincaid here. This is my first video that I'm making for you. By now you've probably seen a couple of my math videos that I've been sending home for my students, your kids, and I hope that you like them so far. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about why I'm doing this. For the last couple of years, I've been inspired by a speaker at our ACSI conference by the name of John Bergman, and he's talked about flipping your classroom. And what this means essentially is taking the direct instruction portion out of the classroom and sending it home for homework, and then doing the application part of teaching in the classroom. So that means things like homework would typically happen in the classroom, and the typical instruction which would happen at home. So for me, I've been racking my brain for the past couple of years about how I could incorporate this method of teaching into my classroom, and I can see this really working well in math. So far, it's been a great shift in our classroom. The reason is, I love to do hands-on things with math. I love to use manipulatives, I love to get out games. I love for my students to be active when we're practicing math, not just sitting doing worksheets. There are benefits to doing worksheets, don't get me wrong, and I'm not taking those away entirely, but I'm just shifting our focus just a little bit. So one of the challenges that I see in my teaching on a daily basis is that I don't always have enough time to practice math the way that I would like to see students applying the skills. So a lesson usually takes about half an hour. By the time I'm done instructing, we don't have a lot of time left over to sit and play games or to get hands-on activities out and really practice what we've learned. The reason is, and you might think this is strange, because my videos that I've sent home are probably only 5 to 10 minutes long, so shouldn't the instruction only take 5 to 10 minutes in the classroom? That would be true if it weren't for the fact that I've got a student over here who can't find their pencil, a student over here who has a bloody nose, a student over there who doesn't feel so good and thinks they need to go to the office, a student over here who found an extra pencil and is playing the drums at their desk. Now the office is calling me saying that that student's going to go home. Could someone please send their backpack down? And so I have all these constant disruptions. That's just the life of a teacher. I embrace it and I'm not complaining about it. Don't get me wrong. I love teaching. But in the real world, a 6-minute lesson can easily turn into a 25-minute lesson, and that leaves little time for application afterwards. And so that's why I'd like to have videos being shown at home so that there are no disruptions, or if there are, the teaching can be paused and resumed as needed. One of the great things about flipping your classroom is that you've got the instruction piece available to you as parents and as students 24/7. So let's say we learned about a concept in class last week, but a student didn't really grasp the concept as well as they should. They've got a test or a quiz coming up that they'd like to prepare for. Well, you can easily go online to my blog and you can revisit that practice. You can listen to the instruction again and you can do the practice problems that I assigned. Also, sometimes parents don't know how best to explain concepts to students. They don't always know the terms that we're using in the classroom, so there's a lack of consistency. This will eliminate any sort of confusion. Something else that I'm really excited about is that this method of teaching will give me some more time in class to work with students who are struggling, who need additional help from their teacher, me. These videos are never meant to take the place of a teacher. You could go online to YouTube or KhanAcademy.com or just simply Google any sort of math video and find all sorts of instruction out there. But I really value the relationships that I have with my students and with you as parents. And so I would never want somebody else's video or someone else to take the place of me and my role completely. So it's important for me to be able to spend one-on-one time with my students, whether they're struggling or whether they're not. I like to get down on my hands and knees and play games with the kids too. So I'm really looking forward to having more of that relational time with my students during our math time. And finally, in the case of student absences, these videos are really going to come in handy. Students will always have videos available to them, so if they miss class, they can go back and revisit the concepts that we've been covering in class. And the math note-taking sheet is actually a PDF file that's been uploaded to my blog, so you can download it at home and print it anytime and complete your work from home, even if you weren't in class to get the assignment. So what I see happening moving forward is that I'll be assigning students 1 to 2 videos a week to watch at home. These have been optional up until this point, but moving forward, these are going to be homework assignments. So students will need to view the assignments at home and complete the math note-taking sheet that's been made available to them. And of course, if they forget their sheet, they can download it and print it at home and complete it there. And so students will come back to class the next day prepared and ready to practice the skills that they've learned as their homework assignment. I'm really excited about this, and I've received a lot of good feedback so far from you, but if you have questions or concerns, I want you to come to parent-teacher conferences ready to talk about them. I'm open to your suggestions, and I'm happy to hear what you have to say about it.